Alright YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a follow-up to one that I recently posted where I discussed how to screw up your life and how to mess up your 2026 before it even starts. So I hope that what you guys take away from this video is that if you want to have a good next year, then you should probably avoid doing these things, because these habits that I'm going to talk about in this video are toxic, they're self-sabotaging, and generally they will lead you down a path of unhappiness that is very, very hard to walk away from. So with that being said, let's actually begin. The first thing that I want to talk about is chasing validation. Whether you're looking for approval from others, whether it's friends, partners, or even family, living a life where you just end up chasing validation constantly is going to lead you to live a life that is purely performative, is going to take away from your ability to, retain your individuality. And what you'll end up doing is simply making every decision based on the opinions of other people. And that's no way to live. You should be your own person who makes their own decisions and is confident and secure enough in their own selves to do what makes them happy, and doesn't necessarily care what other people think of it all the time. The next thing that I want to talk about is going to be avoiding discomfort. The kind of person that takes the easy way out every time and never does anything that scares or challenges them in any way is never going to be successful or happy in life, because usually the individual that doesn't take any risks never gains anything. The only thing that is worth having in this life, or rather the only things that are actually worth having in this life, are on the other side of a lot of work, a lot of discomfort, and a lot of risk. And when you put in the necessary work only when you feel like it or when the motivation strikes, that just kills any chance of making any realistic progress that you might have. The next thing that I want to talk about is fairly basic, but it's instrumental to simply living a happy and healthy life, and that is ignoring your health. If you ignore your health by just eating junk food all the time, and I kind of referenced this in my last video, but if you are eating junk food all the time, undersleeping, skipping the gym or cardio, stuff like that, and not exercising, not eating right, and just not taking care of yourself physically, then that is going to spill over into every other aspect of your life. There's a reason that, aside from watches and firearms, one of my main hobbies in life is fitness. And that is because when you are physically fit, it just makes everything else in life generally easier to do. It makes walking to the gas station a lot easier. It makes walking down a mall with your friends or family a lot easier. It makes lifting heavy boxes up a flight of stairs a lot easier. Basic tasks, right, that should not be challenging for anybody who is not disabled to do. Like, if you are not, I can't overemphasize the importance of being fit enough, because if you are not fit, then quite literally everything in your life is just going to be harder. If you are not sleeping well, you're not going to be focused at work. If you're unfit, then you're going to struggle to walk up a flight of stairs when you go into the office. Like, I could go on for days and days about how important it is to be physically fit and just generally healthy, but I think you guys get the point. Do not ignore your health. It's going to make your life even worse, so make sure that you take care of yourself. The next thing I want to talk about is numbing yourself instead of actually fixing things. Drinking too much, scrolling too much to kill time, distracting yourself with pointless activities that don't benefit you in some way. All of these things are just ways to avoid whatever problems you're facing in life, whether that's a problem with your friends or your relationships, or the relationships with your family, or something at work. Whatever problems you're facing right now, I guarantee you that drinking away your problems is not going to be a successful strategy for you. Scrolling social media to, until the late hours of the evening is not going to make you any happier. It's not going to make those problems go away. Generally, just this is the kind of thing people do when they have problems that they feel like they can't solve and they just run away from them. Instead, what I would recommend is the same thing that I talked about in the last video, where if you have problems in your life that you feel like you can't solve on your own, then that's when you need to go seek either advice from a friend or maybe some professional help from like a therapist or something. Again, I talked about this in the last video. Therapy has helped me out a lot, and it is a great resource if you can afford it. But don't run from your problems. Face them head on, confront them with a strategy, and then at that point you may actually see some progress. The next bad thing that you can do is to waste your mornings. And this is actually a pretty good reminder for myself, right? Because I like to have slow mornings sometimes. I'm currently on leave right now, and I'm not doing too much other than, you know, working out, enjoying my time on leave, and hitting the range every now and then. But when you are consistently waking up late, whether it's the weekend or the work week, scrolling for way too long, again, skipping breakfast, and then you have to rush to work or rush to an appointment or whatever, and then you end up losing the day before it even starts. The only way to really get around this is to, you know, bring some discipline into your mornings and have some sort of morning routine. That's really up to you guys. It should be simple. It shouldn't be like overly complicated like some of these morning routine videos you see on YouTube. You don't need to go that crazy. But whenever I get up, I like to, on a perfect morning, not get on my phone, go make myself some coffee, look outside my window at the mountains, and just exist for several minutes at least before I feel the temptation to start scrolling or anything else, or watch a show on Hulu or whatever. Make sure that your mornings are yours and that you are actually in control of the time that you spend in your mornings. That is what I would say is probably the most important thing. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be talking more than you act. Now, there are a lot of people out there who will talk a big game about the things that they're doing in life, the goals that they have, the jobs that they're applying for, the billion-dollar ideas that they've got. You know, they plan, they announce, they promise, but when it comes to actually executing on those ideas or those plans of action, they never get around to it. Or, like I mentioned in my last video, they may get started, they might have a little bit of luck early on, and then they stop. Or it doesn't take off for them at all in the beginning, and it's not going the way they want it to, and then they just quit. Either way, right? A lot of people will talk, but not a lot of people will actually walk the walk. Not a lot of people out there are actually going to execute on the things that they talk about, that they dream about. Talking about your plans feels good, right? Like it's fun to, you know, tell people about what you've got going on in your life, and you want to be heard by people, you want to be seen by people, you want to be perceived by them in a certain way. Like, oh, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I've got this thing going on, I've also got this thing going on, you know, I'm cool, I'm the man. And that kind of goes back to the chasing validation point that I was talking about earlier. But the problem with this is that if you just spend all of your time talking about your plans, talking about the things you're going to do, but you never do them, it feels good until you realize after a period of time that literally nothing has changed in your life and you have made absolutely zero progress. Next thing is going to be making excuses. A lot of people, here's the way I see it, right? There's two types of individuals in this world. There's people that make excuses, and then there's people that make progress. And you can choose which one you actually want to be in life. Saying things like, I'm too tired, I am, I'll start next week, or now is not the right time. I think we've all said that thing at one point, and then we've realized that, you know, next week comes around, or, you know, we're still waiting for the right time. It never comes. The right time never comes. The best time to do something is right now. That's why I'm actually filming this video. I've got a thing I'm going to later tonight. I have to be out the door soon, but I wanted to film this video while the ideas were fresh. Otherwise, I feel like I was never just going to get around to it. All these excuses and more just build a strong case for staying the same and never growing in life. And that's not something you want. If you are not growing in life, you're moving backwards, because the world is constantly changing. No 2 days in the world are exactly the same. And people change from day to day. But if you are not taking control of that process and actively growing and focusing on your growth as a person, then you are going to regress rather than progress. The next thing I want to talk about is staying bitter. Blaming everyone but yourself for your problems is probably one of the worst things that you can do in terms of your growth. It completely stunts your growth in general, whether that's financially, emotionally, spiritually, relationship-wise, intellectually. The moment you decide that the world owes you something is when you lose all sense of control and when you stop evolving completely. I talk a lot about growth in this video, and I talk about evolution because the recurring theme with all of these points that I have written down is that each of these things are ways to stop growing as an individual. And ultimately, I believe that what we should be chasing in this life is growth as individuals. Growth morally, spiritually, financially, relationship-wise. We need to be growing every single day. But if you are the kind of person who just is angry at the world constantly, you walk around with a chip on your shoulder, and you feel like the world is doing you dirty in some way, but you never take action to fix that, and you feel like the world owes you restitution, or I don't know if I use that word correctly, but if you feel like the world owes you some sort of reparations for the myriad of ways that it's wronged you, then you're never going to be happy, and you're never going to achieve those dreams that you are thinking about. The world, here's the hard truth. The world owes you nothing. Nobody in this world owes you anything. And if you really want something in this life, if you want it as much as you want to be breathing, then you have to go out and you have to take it for yourself. Nothing worth having is given, only earned. Next thing I want to talk about is holding grudges. When you carry resentment for people like armor, it actually makes you weaker. It doesn't make you stronger. I think that, and I believe rather, that one of the most powerful and one of the greatest acts of strength that we have as people is to forgive each other. There's that story in the Bible, and forgive me if I'm misquoting, but Jesus is talking to a group of people who are about to stone a criminal, right? And I believe he says something like, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." And that is a very powerful message, right? Because it reminds us to be humble. It reminds us that we are not perfect. And it reminds us that everyone makes mistakes in life. Everyone has missteps in life. Everybody does bad things sometimes. Sometimes people sometimes people make mistakes without maliciousness, and then other times people do bad things maliciously and they choose to do them. And that may make them bad people, maybe. But at the same time, if you are the kind of person who cannot forgive and you cannot move on from that, then you will always be poisoned by the memory of whatever those people did to you. So what I'm trying to get at here is eventually you're going to have to forgive the people who have wronged you, because at the end of the day, like, they've already moved on. If somebody wronged you years ago, they've already moved on. They've probably forgotten about you. The reality is, like, you're still poisoning yourself to this day because you can't let go of that one incident that happened, or those things that happened to you in your past. You have to forgive yourself and then move on and let go of whatever happened to you in your past. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that you actually own is this moment right now. And if you're spending this current moment thinking about the thing that happened a month ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, then you're wasting the current moment that you have that you could be using to move on, to let go, to find your peace, and eventually move forward and grow as a person. The last thing that I want to talk about is ignoring feedback. Whenever you get defensive when somebody calls you out on your BS, that is a problem. It shows that you have ego. Now, there is a silver line here. There's a fine line to be drawn here. not everyone's opinion is worth listening to, all right? There are individuals who, when you'll come across in life, who will try to insert their opinions into the way they think you should, live, act, or behave. And most of the time, those people's opinions are not worth listening to. It's just noise, right? Again, as I spoke about in the beginning of the video, if you go around chasing validation from other people, that's a surefire way to be unhappy. And oftentimes people will give you their advice when you didn't even ask for it. And most of the time it's okay to ignore those people. You can just smile and nod and be like, okay, yeah, sure. All right, thank you. Thank you for your advice. But when somebody that you genuinely respect, or somebody that is a friend who genuinely cares about you, or a family member, right, is calling you out on your BS because you are acting stupid in some way or another, or you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing, that's your time to shut up, listen to what they're saying intently, and listen not to respond, but listen to actually understand the words that are coming out of their mouth, and then internalize that and process it and move forward from there. If you surround yourself with people who only tell you what you want to hear, you will never grow as a person. I guarantee it. You will never grow. The only thing that will be big about you at the end of the day is going to be your ego and nothing else. So make sure that you have people in your life who can be honest with you, who can actually call you out on your BS and let you know when you're messing up, because we all need people like that in our lives. I know for me, I have people like that in my life who, if I'm screwing up, whether it's at work, in my relationships, or with my family, then they're going to say something about it and they're going to let me know. And I respect those people. I want to hear their opinions, because those individuals are at a point in life that I would like to be at one day as well. So make sure you have people like that in your life. Don't surround yourself with yes men or sycophants. It's not going to get you anywhere, and you're just going to end up really unhappy. With that being said, I'm going to cut it off here. I hope this video has given you guys something to think about. I hope this video has, given you guys a lot to ponder, and it helps you as much as it helps me, because I don't know if I said this already, but making these videos is as much of a reminder to myself as it is hopefully helpful advice to you guys. I appreciate you, especially if you made it to the end of the video, especially if you have watched this far. I genuinely appreciate the support that people give me on my channel. I see the people that come back to my channel video after video, no matter what I talk about, whether it's watches, guns, or life in general. I see you. I appreciate you. You guys matter to me, and thank you very much for watching. Take care and stay safe.